Hello, everybody. Welcome finally back to the Middleton Nytetime Broadcast Season 3 finale episode.
Wow, it's been a while.
It's been 84 years. Oh, God.
84th episode.
Y'all,
What
listen.
number are we on now?
Truth to be told, if this wasn't the final episode, I think this is like episode... Oh, God, let me check again. If I go to my channel, this would be the 6th episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right, we only do them like monthly now. Well, every other month.
Yeah, when we can. Which is...
Yeah.
Which is... We're gonna explain everything, okay? So... Let me figure this out. Okay, so as you guys know, if you do avidly follow the podcast, you would know that the last time we uploaded anything was back in July. And that was kind of the last time. Oh yeah, I'm used to this model. People are not. Listen, y'all, if you don't understand why my model looks like this, I'm sorry to break it to you. But I have been taken by the Goof fandom, and I have been trapped in the subterranean hell that is this fandom for the last 5 months. It has, and I have no wants to change anything. But no, none at all. I made some of my best artwork, I think, in the past few weeks with this brain rot. So, yeah. But
Friends too in the fandom.
some have been very healing.
I feel like that will nicely segue into our first topic. Actually, talking about communities and fandoms and erosion of sorts.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I guess let's just kind of jump right into this with saying a lot has happened for Rikki and I over the course of the last five-ish months.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna blanket statement this just also so that we can kind of have this in our minds and jump back to it later. But it's like, Rikki and I have softly or harshly let go of some people, for the betterment of ourselves and creative endeavors, focusing on ourselves more, but also realizing some of the negatives that come with when you're only focusing on yourself and only protecting yourself. And sometimes that comes with, I guess, technically, I don't know if you want to talk about it, Rikki. It was the whole reason why I kind of made the number 2 thing where it was the desensitization to violence and conflict. It was that message you sent me about the car accident.
Oh yeah, we can get into that if you want. So we were driving home, Sauce and I, after a day of shopping, and next thing you know, to the left of us, without even like barely noticeable, but it was there, just a F-150 crashed into like a little sedan or something, and just supposedly Sauce saw this, but it was just a lady kind of passed out, almost looking like she was like fainted or dead, and we didn't freak out at all. We're just like, oh man, that sucks. Hopefully someone gets her. Oh, we got to turn here. And then later on, I realized, I'm like, why didn't I react differently? Why was that just a normal day in Florida? I mean, maybe it is. People crash all the time, right? But
it's still
one
of those,
where did that compassion go? Like, I feel guilty. I'm like, should I have felt like worse?
Yeah, I kind of wish I clipped it so I could like self-insert it here or whatever, or I wish I had it up so I could remember what I said. But there was someone. It wasn't someone. It was actually one of the characters that brought this up in Vampire, the game that I've been playing on Twitch for the month, and she brought up how, since that game is taking place during a pandemic, it's taking place during the Spanish flu time for England. She talks about how there's a big sense of individualism and lack of human empathy, and how there has to be some sort of reform for humanity. Now, listen, we've been through COVID.
A different kind of pandemic.
Yeah, but equally as bad, because the Spanish
Yes.
flu did horrible things to people, and that was a killer because they didn't have the stuff to fix it. And while COVID, we have a vaccine for it. If you get COVID, it still sucks. I should know I have long COVID effects. If any of y'all have ever had to, actually, Rikki, you've had to hear me a few times. I think I sent you a whole voice message on the fact that, like, one of my long COVID symptoms is, like, if I do like a lot of strenuous activity, but I also try to like walk and talk at the same time, I have to go like, what's the term? Like manual breathing.
Yeah, you have to like make sure you're getting enough air. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's that. By the way, I'm about to ruin this for everyone. Rikki, don't listen to this if you don't want this to hit you. It's like when you start manually thinking about blinking, and it sucks. But
yeah.
Anyway,
Or breathing.
besides that, I guess I'm gonna read this part for part for you all, and just why I am talking about this, and this will lead into the other. I think I should have put this as number 1 because I think this would lead into 1 and 2 better. But I'm gonna read what I gave Rikki for us, where it says, the prevalence of violent content, whether through the news or gaming, has created an atmosphere where violence is normalized. Constant exposure to graphic imagery or discussions about war can desensitize individuals, leading to apathy towards real-world suffering. This can also impact personal relationships, as discussions about violence can overshadow more positive interactions, creating a sense of heaviness that drains the fun from social engagement. And my God, since COVID started, up to now, ain't that the truth?
Oh, hell yeah, like crazy. I feel like ever since COVID, everyone's been kind of just null to everything, and maybe that's why. Going back on the car thing, maybe that's why we were just kind of like more in survival mode than like, oh, let's get out of the car, let's help.
It's also one of those things too where like I talked. One of the things that someone said in my chat last night was like, it's like, Jake, but what if you don't want to like move a person? What if it's not safe to move a person? It's like, okay, well, still, like, you should probably go check on them. But also, like, if you can't move them, yes, have medical services. If they're severely hurt, call medical services. Don't do stuff on your own. But like, who knows if someone could have called for either of the people for those vehicles? You have no clue what could happen. That's why, like, so many times, my state has it to where it's like, if you see something, say something. Especially when driving, it's like if you can call someone, if you can pull over, call like 911, whatever, do it. Better safe than sorry.
True.
But I'm trying to think. There was something I had similar to that, where in my area, I live around highways. I'm used to people speeding around here. I'm used to seeing police officers. I'm sadly used to seeing accidents. And there's that lack of violence and conflict, and then there's the greater issue, which stems to like what it said, like war and graphic imagery, and like within not even like the decade, like within just the past 4 years. I'm sorry if this triggers anyone, so I just want to put a
little warning.
Warning right here, please. I'll like try to remember to put like a timestamp or something on the screen in the background. But in the past 2 years, there's been the war on Ukraine and Gaza. And it's like, just thinking about that, right? Like, I think it doesn't help that the way that a lot of people were getting sort of the raw imagery of Gaza was through TikTok. So at the same time, while we were getting that, it was done in short form content. And then here's the problem with that, which is, I don't think I was going to bring this up for this, but it's something you brought up, I think. was once something gets into your algorithm for a website, it's gonna feed you that shit. And during the pandemic, the term doom scrolling became a thing because you would just scroll and scroll and scroll, and you just go like brain rot mode to the point where it's like, ooh, fluffy cats, and then someone's body melting in a fire in war. And
Thankfully,
like,
I haven't run into that, but I have in the past. I know what you mean.
yeah.
Oh my god. Like,
And
I
it's
could
like-
say that, but again, if I saw it on my feed, I'd be just like you, where it's like, oh, there's a burnt body. Ah, that sucks.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be like, oh my god, what can I do to help? But
Or I drop the phone in like shock, you know?
yeah, like
Something.
genuine human compassion. How do I say this without repeating kind of what I've said in the past couple years? Ah, fuck it, I don't care. I'm trying to pick my words carefully.
I'm trying to pick my nose carefully. I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry. I just got like the most cartoon like image of Rikki just full on shoving one of them digits like up in the nose.
It's like moving the skull around too. Like, you see the
Or
end
it's
of
just
the
like
finger.
it's just like with just the claw on the tip of their finger, just like
I'm pretty
okay,
good at
I'm gonna-
derailing things, my bad.
Oh, you're fine. I'm gonna say that we need levity, man.
We do.
So forgive me for repeating this, Rikki. You've heard this ad nauseum before.
Oh,
But-
go on. They haven't.
But coming off of like college, there's God, this is gonna be such a downer thing to say, but I guess it is sort of the realist thing to say here. Mine and Rikki's generation were told from very young ages. It's like, hey, go through pre-K to 12, get your college degree, and the entire world is your oyster.
Load of shit.
Load of absolute shit. Because I believed that up till I think junior year. Junior year was admittedly where I was struggling with academia. I got into a lot of fights with my parents over GPA and grades. Got to college, and then during my entire college semester, we had one controversial political figure running the United States, and now we had another political figure that's controversial running the United States. And during that entire time, too, conversations, not just of like political figures, but just conversations about everything that I would hear on the internet during my time in college, during my time when I reconnected with Rikki, and up to the point where I even am now, that has caused me to want to avoid some other people, is the amount of how do I say this? The amount of the genuine lack of love and realizing hey, Rikki's not just this superimposed character on the opposite side of the screen that I should be sending death threats and hate messages to. This is an actual person with actual feelings where at the end of the day, what I say and what I do, even if I'm just a random profile picture on the internet, some of those things can get deep-seated in the back of your mind and then just one night pop up out of nowhere, and that shit ruins your night. And that is a big factor of you get desensitized to violence and conflict. But then
I was gonna just quickly interject. For me, and it's for me personally, let's say someone online says, "Oh, you're stupid. You'll never be a woman. You're just a abomination," or whatever. That means nothing to me.
Mhm.
It's when a close friend I find out says that, that's when it hurts the worst. Because then I'm thinking about it at night. I'm like, wow, do they really think that of me? I'd argue for me, that's when it's like, oh, it's a worm in the back of your head. It makes me reconsider my friend group. I'm like, like they're always negative. Like, should I even, you know?
No, I understand.
Because people have their opinions online. You know, the illusion of anonymity. Spoiler: we're not anonymous. In fact, there's people in the furry fandom that I've literally seen when I was 12, like on internet and shit, that I see all the time now on my feed and stuff. And it's just like, wow, I wish when I was 12 I didn't act like a fool. Thank God they don't know who I am now. You know what I mean? Like, it's way different account, way different era of my life, but it's still just like, ooh, cringe.
I completely agree, because like I did things. I said things. I had things that I am happy as an adult now are not around anymore. But I'm also happy because, like, I don't think if I did YouTube, then I wouldn't know Rikki. Let that sink in, yo.
I don't regret any of my foolish childhood mistakes. I'm so glad they're scrubbed from the internet. Not that there's anything horrible. It's just cringe. It's just like, oh, I wouldn't have uploaded that, or oh, I sounded stupid, or, you know, typical.
Or it's like you look back at that stuff and you're just like, ooh, that quality though. Or
yeah,
like
crunchiness.
that sound. Ooh, it's crispy. It's crispy.
Did I record this on a Rock Band microphone? Like that kind of shit.
I probably record. Ooh, trying to think. Back in the day, I think most of my stuff was recorded on a headset microphone, which to Turtle Beach's, to Turtle Beach, I love you guys. It was a great microphone for a YouTuber back in the day trying to ball on a budget. But now, I mean, I'm still balling on a budget. Oh, speaking of which, to go back to some of the Friends stuff, well, I'm gonna say this right now. I come from a family where money has been spent smartly. I'm going to put it that way. We have a lot of nice things in my family. I won't deny that. I have said things to friends because, like, most of the time when it's a friend that I trust and it's interpersonal stuff, I don't expect them, if like we have a fight or an argument or just like a disagreement, for them to snap back at me with being like, okay, well, your family has this and they also have this and they have 3 of these, you know? And they're like that. I don't personally know the ins and outs of what my parents had to do when I was very young to make it not noticeable that we were struggling. Back in, like, you know, like the 2008 recession and all that stuff towards the end, going into like 2008 recession pop era, and then like, I don't know, I think around like maybe 2012, 2013, stuff got a bit better for my family. And I know like my mom got a promotion for where she was working in her new job at the time. And I think my dad, when he was working, also got a position upgrade, so that made it, you know, a lot more like comfy and cozy for us. And around that time too was when my parents, they got like my sisters both new cars, because my dad basically refinanced his Mustang, because my dad was finding like, what's the point of me having a Mustang just sitting in the garage? That's a stick shift where I live. No. So my dad made the smart move, sold it, and was able to like help both of my sisters have a $5,000 down payment on both of their cars. Which, to get in 2010, to get a 2010 used Corolla with a $5,000 down payment, and I'll tell you, that Corolla to this day, y'all, Toyota, I don't know what you do to your engines, but you can put those cars through hell and they keep pushing. But I think I've learned, like, I hope I'm not putting you on blast, Rikki. I'm not going to say anything specific. Rikki's lived a much fucking harder life than I have. I'm just putting that out there.
That being said, I want to, before my brain forgets, I don't know if you specifically said friends or people, but let's just say people. People that, no, I'll say friends as like a loose term, like air quotes. Friends that, they ask how you're doing and, oh, how's life? And then you tell them, oh, well, I just finally was able to afford these $100 headphones, let's just say. And then they get mad at you. And then 2 weeks later, after you've already forgotten about the headphones, you're already vibing with them, they're part of your normal everyday life, you don't think of them subconsciously. Now all of a sudden, when they're mad at you, those are the bullet. That is, they're gonna hit you with, oh yeah, well you bought those headphones, I can't buy anything, you're just a fucking spoiled little shit. And it's just, and then you're kind of taken aback, like, well, whoa, you don't know how many paychecks I had to save up just to afford that and this and that. And then you kind of have to pause and realize if they're attacking you over something just it doesn't matter in their life at all, but for some reason it does, like, oh, that you buying those headphones, that really affected them. And it's like, well, is it even worth being their friend if that's what they care about? They don't see the upside of you saving and working your ass off for them. They're only seeing, oh, you're spoiled. I just feel like that's a them mentality thing to a degree. Like, get to know the person and understand. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't fucking care if someone drives a Porsche. I really don't care. Or if they drive a Ford Focus. Like, it's not my business.
I will redact this if I don't feel like it later. But
No problem.
I recently just got a new car.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another one of the big struggles as to why I haven't been around for a while, because I desperately needed to get like my own car so that my mom could have her car back. I got into a fight. Rikki, you know the said individual that I get into fights multiple times a year with.
Oh yeah.
And immediately after that last fight, which was a bigger change in the trajectory for what I wanted, I called up a dealership because I found a car model that I really liked, and I called the dealership and was like, hey, I like the price, I like the MSRP, I want to sit down and I want to know, like, hey, what is the car going to cost after we go through financing, after we go through, like, what everything is going to be after, like, taxes, tags, all that stuff, what is it going to be, right? So we did that. I got the car, posted the car to a bunch of friends, and some were genuinely happy for me. Others kind of gave me that, like, hey, you're not a little kid anymore, pat on the back, even though I'm fucking 26, but that's a whole different discussion. And you know what's kind of sucky about the whole thing, even right now that I have this new car and it's become like a part of my life now for almost the last month, is I don't feel like I deserve it.
Interesting. So you don't feel like you're worthy of such a nice vehicle, or even nice things in general, I assume?
Nowadays, yeah. I don't like I'm not gonna lie, I'll put this on blast. My car model came out. My car is a 2025 model. Came out literally last month. And I was able to afford it. And, I went through the careful thing of budgeting. I went to see, like, okay, what is my insurance going to cost? I'm thankful to the gods that my insurance is so low.
Didn't you also spend 2 years shopping around for cars? Because I remember you were going to get, like, a Jeep or something initially.
Yes, so originally I was going to go around and try to get, like, a Jeep. I was going to try to get a Jeep Compass. Because at the time I was like, oh, I really, like, miss my Jeep and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But then a lot of stuff came out from Stellantis, the company that, like, owns, like, Dodge, Jeep, all of these other, like, smaller, well, not smaller, but all these subsidiary car companies. And, like, all of that shit, just, like, engines, electrical issues, all that stuff going downhill. So then, summer of last year, I started searching up, like, I think I started sending you pictures of, like, Toyotas and Hyundais and stuff like that, going more towards, like, the Asian car market, because, like, Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, they are a lot more reliable, and I was seeing so many more of their types of vehicles, like, in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started looking at that. And then when I finally settled on the car that I do have, I was so happy, and I was happy to see, like, oh my god, it's in blue. I like this car. I like how it looks at night. I like how it looks in the morning. I like the interior, blah, blah, blah. So,
So like I said, you've been saving for a while. That didn't just fall in your lap like, I think I might just blow 10K real quick.
10K, yeah. No. I've been planning this for basically the last like 3 years. But there are so many people where I think I told one friend about this, and they're like, this is fucked up that you don't celebrate this. And I was like, my parents gave me the pat on the back. They were super happy. Like because the dealership like was an hour away, but my parents' house where they live is closer. I drove there, stayed there for the day, worked Monday, and then sadly we have like a local insurance group, but also like good because local insurance groups are better than some of the big corporate ones.
Oh yeah.
That's why my insurance is so goddamn low. They're not open on weekends, and we bought the car on, God, what was it? It was Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember. But we called them Monday, got all the information, told them the like VIN, make, model, yada yada for them to do it. Car got approved later that day to be covered under insurance, and I drove home Monday night.
In and out. Wow.
I will say, to people who have new cars, bitch, them brakes. You gotta breathe on those brakes. It's like, remember that old episode of SpongeBob where Patrick is guiding SpongeBob through the boating test?
Yes, I remember that.
And remember, like, Sponge is about to floor it, and Patrick's just like, big toe. And it's just like, that's all you have to do with new car brakes. You just gotta breathe on them. Because I felt so bad when I was doing the test. What?
Just breathe on them.
just it's just, and the car stops. But
it fucking hits the windshield.
I'm curious, not to segue too hard. I know you like, has there been anything recently, not even monetarily, but like, has there been anything recently for you where it's like you've been so happy about some form of an achievement, and then someone just shits on it, and you're just like, well.
Oh, like, can't have nice things.
Yeah, like even like with YouTube, like, has there been anything streaming wise where like someone shit on something, like stuff in the background, anything that you are comfortable with saying?
I mean, with YouTube, I'm sure there's people that just the fact that I exist annoy them. Like, furry, whatever, I don't care. But in terms of like, buying something and someone shooting that down, I feel like that has happened. It had to have, because at this point, lately, not at all. And by that I mean, like, I bought a really nice phone. I love my Nothing phone.
That phone's sick.
But I haven't really bragged about it. I haven't really told people. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, I got the phone. Where'd you get that?
Don't tell them.
Yeah,
keep that to yourself. Trust me.
Because I feel like you said, when I do, then all of a sudden, like, oh well, you can't afford an apartment. That's because you bought that phone. It's like, I needed a phone. My phone was literally lighting on fire. Actually, I gave my old phone to another sister of mine who was going to use it temporarily so she could just get a new one like the next week. The battery was going to explode, so I am glad I got the new phone. Didn't know that. It was Boeing.
The Nothing phone is so cool though, because it's like weird, but it's also like, if you were someone that kind of likes to see like the inner circuitry of something, a Nothing phone will give you that satisfaction.
If you were a kid that grew up with see-through, transparent, like, video game consoles and controllers, it gives off the same kind of like coolness, the vibe.
Yeah, and it's like, I love my phone. I wouldn't trade it for the world, even though I gotta change the screen protector because it's bubbling a little bit. But, yeah, I guess we'll bleed into the third one, since I feel like this kind of is the topic for where we're going. I don't know if it's just because it's online, and most of my work's remote. My work's online. Most of my friends are online. And God, this is gonna
Oh.
sound so fucking cheesy, and I hope the guys never hear this episode.
Listen up, guys. Here it comes.
When I went to go see Santiago and Alec about like a week and a half ago now, it hit me just how much like I missed like seeing an actual human in front of me. Not like a stranger. Like it's not me like rolling up to Chipotle, walking through, seeing like the people working at Chipotle. It's not that. It's like someone that I have a connection with, that I care about. Seeing them in the flesh, that's so much more different than seeing them on a video call or seeing their profile picture.
It's that connection. I mean, we talked about desensitization earlier. I think I'm saying that word right. That's a
Yeah.
big word. But it's different when you're, like you said, video calling versus like, oh my God, you're real. Like, I can
Yeah.
tangibly give you a coffee.
Yeah. And it made me realize, I know my cousin's probably gonna watch this, so fuck you if you hear this.
But drop a like.
So Christian's moving like 3 hours away from me. So we hung out last weekend as like kind of our farewell to each other, but obviously we're still going to be doing stuff. But I was like, this is probably going to turn into one of those instances where I either would have to dedicate a weekend to go see Christian. Excuse me. Or I'd have to like only see him for like family holidays. But the good thing is like Christian and I fully plan to stream together again, like we used to do back in ye old high school days. And obviously it'll be on Twitch, so if any of you guys want to know when any of that shit's happening, please like go follow me on Twitch. I swear to God, I'm more active there than I am here on YouTube. And considering this is the last episode, this channel is gonna go dormant till probably like, I'm gonna be honest, probably like till February next year. So please, if you guys want, if you want to catch more of Rikki, Jesus Christ, the links are down below. I've had a few people ask me, it's like, hey, how do I get to Rikki? I like their content. I'm like, y'all don't
Check the description.
I know, it's like just go to the end of the video and that big like calling card thing that pops up, just click on that. And then if you want to
I
see,
have a YouTube, I have a Twitch, I have a Blue Sky now.
oh yeah, oh God.
That's been a topical thing. I mean, I don't know when this is coming out. I assume a week or two, but we're on the cusp of the huge exodus of Twitter right now.
And one of my friends said, they're like, but this happened before, and I was like, yes, that happened before.
It's
but
different.
This is different because it was one thing for when you gave artists the ability to opt out of something. Now that you're not giving them the ability to opt out of AI generated, like AI taking people's art for generative work, yeah, no, people don't like that. So
I feel like it's more than that. I see that a lot. Like I've even had I'm not going to say their name. I doubt they listen to the podcast, but I don't want to do that to them. An acquaintance of mine who argued, well, Facebook uses AI and Instagram, and people still use those. Yeah, but this is different. This is very different. First of all, boomers don't give a shit. They just want to talk about politics all day. They don't give a fuck what's going on there. Let's just say that now. When it comes to Twitter, that is feeding it to an AI image model, an AI, it could generate movies and shit, probably in the future if they haven't done it already. They're going to. And artists don't like that. The reason why artists moved to X is because Tumblr died, and that was the only other big platform to jump to, factually. What makes Blue Sky different, and they're like, the same person, well, Blue Sky uses AI. If you look, it's not the same AI. The stuff they do is more so for moderation, ease of use of the website. They're not feeding it to an image generator or whatever the fuck, a prompter, I should call it, because AI artistry, you aren't a fucking artist. You're a little idiot that thinks they're a genius because you typed in flying frog with wings. Like, shut up. Go learn to draw. Anyway, the reason why Blue Sky, I feel like, is going to take off is because there's no algorithm right now at all. And Oh, what do you mean? That's crazy. How are you going to find art? By looking for people, by going through people you follow and seeing what they like and finding common interests. The shit we used to do before we were dumb troglodytes, scrolling endless feeds waiting for auto refresh to show more content. I'm sorry, you're not a little guinea pig. You don't need dopamine hits every 2 seconds. Go explore the internet. There's more than just the 5 top apps on the App Store. There's more out there.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was the struggling artist that discovered DeviantArt back in the day. And then when DeviantArt kind of took a hit, I went to Tumblr. And Tumblr was probably some of the rawest and also, like, some of the best time of my life, because I discovered Tumblr, like, when I got a smartphone, and God, the amount of art I probably saved on that old LG phone. That thing was struggling. But yeah, I am an artist, and I don't want any of my artwork used. I spent half an hour yesterday deleting all the art off of my Twitter. And while I'm sad about that, because I do have some history with Twitter, I'm not as bitter about leaving Twitter. That rhymed. As I would be if I left something like Instagram, where for Instagram, I have spent years on that app. That app has basically become an artistic gallery and portfolio for my work. And to transfer to Blue Sky, granted, everyone's going to have to start seeing artwork of my current era brain rot, but you know, it's fine, whatever. I'm hoping that, like, leaving Twitter will be better for me, because, like, Twitter is a cesspool. Like, there's no love, there's no compassion, there's, like, very little positivity, and the only time you'll find positivity for anything is, like, maybe from your favorite artist, or them, like, being happy about a work that they've been doing forever and all that stuff. But
that's a good thing to bring up. The community, and I say community strongly, on Blue Sky is very uplifting. I have not seen any hate. I've not seen any call-out posts, any shit like that. No, oh, here's a screen cap of this fool being an idiot. That's all just gone. Like, instead, we're, like, here for each other. Like, there's also tabs, different feeds. Like, let me go up here and give you an example. We have following, discover, popular with friends, and then I have a little community I'm part of, which is a furry one. It says new, like new posts. You can click the furry musicians tab and see which musicians are typing and posting. Like, you can categorize each little interest. There's even a mutuals tab, so I can only see the people that follow me and I follow them. Whereas Twitter, that gets bumped down with 15 million ads and recommended posts, and all your friends get buried. You don't ever, oh, Jake, you uploaded? I didn't see it. Sorry. Let me go look. There's none of that.
It's a big reason why, like, I haven't, to be frank, again, the whole reason why I'm not too bitter about leaving Twitter is because I really don't post on there. Like, God.
It gets the post last, so to speak.
Well,
like, Instagram gets it first. Twitter, I guess I'll throw it up there.
Instagram gets it first. TikTok gets it second.
Oh, yeah, TikTok.
Twitter gets it maybe. And, like, I'm not going to lie. Twitter, at the end of the day, kind of is just used for what a lot of people would just label as spicy content.
Yeah.
But, like, you can put that stuff on Blue Sky. It's just you have to, like, hit the tab saying, like, hey, this is, like, a mature account.
You just literally click the button that says, oh, this post is NSFW, and then boom.
Now, I know some people be like, but they'd be like, well, what about kids? And I was like, well, moderate your fucking kids. It's the internet. It's public domain. It's public space on the internet. Parent your kid like you would in real life. Get off my dick.
The internet is not family friendly, and nor should it be. And I don't mean like, oh, I want dicks and vaginas everywhere. I just mean like, it is a wild wasteland of humanity. You're gonna find the weirdest shit online. The only time a kid should be online, unsupervised, is playing fucking, I don't know, I Spy or some shit. Like,
cool math games.
Yeah, but even then, you should check on them once in a while. Be like, hey, okay, good, you're doing good. Earlier, you brought up how we've been gone for months. You know, we wanted to get into what what's been going on. I just dawned on me through you talking about limiting phone usage and what you can do on there. I have kind of done the same for myself. I've noticed I've been working a lot better. I've been way more stress-free. And all I've done is one simple thing. Discord is permanently muted. Unless I have the app open, I will not know if someone messages me. I will not know. Same thing with my social media apps. I have to physically open the app to see if I get a notification. So my brain isn't constantly like, oh, someone messaged me, let me go check. Oh, no, they didn't. Oh, they did. Let me reply real quick. Oh, I can hurry up at work. Like, no, that, I can wait till later. It'll always be there. If they're fucking dying, they're gonna call me. Let's be real.
So that was a thing, and then like people fighting each other on the internet. Well, there's like, listen, anything I say, anything Rikki says, most of the time we're coming from like a humanitarian side of things, where we genuinely care about people, and we try to, even though we said what we said earlier, where it's like there are just days where it's like, hey, you're just trying to get a mission done, get to point A and B, and sometimes when you see something bad, you just don't have the mental or emotional bandwidth to be able to like break off and help with that stuff, and that's bad. But what was it that you said, Rikki? It was like autopilot survival mode.
Yeah, it's very much a I'm here to do the thing. I go home. That's when I can like come out of autopilot. It's almost like a mask, like masking, I guess, to be a better term. Like you're putting on a character who's going to meet the expectations, and that the bare minimum, and that's fucking it, you know. Yeah. But I feel like everyone's been in that mode lately.
I don't know if I'd say everyone, but definitely I just feel like
my friends, at least. Yeah, I shouldn't generalize. I do that a lot. I'm trying to get better this year at that.
I just think like people in our sphere, but
True.
I was actually like kind of abhorred by seeing how many people were fighting, because like typically when you'd see like, I don't know, like let me just say this hypothetically, right? If you were to see a town absolutely washed off the face of a map by a hurricane, like Appalachia roads crumbled from like landslides, from like the like crazy amounts of like water washing through those cities, like crumbled away, dirt and stuff, roads are crumbled, you can't drive, it's not safe. And then like where roads used to be, there's just like feet and feet of just sand, dirt, debris, shit all over the place, buildings like buried. It's like, do you immediately think like, fuck these people because they probably vote for this, or
No.
fuck these people because they're fucking blue? It's like, no, you're like, oh dear God, these poor people who like, now they don't have a job. God forbid, how are they gonna like feed their kids and themselves and or pets? And then
I will say, very short, when I mentioned how I felt desensitized, the hurricanes, quite the opposite. It really opened my eyes to the destruction of these storms, and these families are just, just uprooted.
I know the night that I called you, you were moderately freaking out because at the time they projected Milton when it was in
like
the Gulf.
4.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 4 at that time.
Oh, it was a 5, that's right. And then turned into a 4. My bad.
Yeah, and then I think it was like probably like a 3 by the time I think it got to your side of Florida. But like, I mean, even I snapped out of it because like that night I was like, I literally like was getting ready for bed. I was just grabbing water and I saw your messages, and I like snapped out of like autopilot mode, and I was just like, fam, what do you need?
And then after like an hour, we kind of like realized, let's just wake up the next day, see where we're at, and thankfully things worked out. But I felt it. There was that moment of like, this is real. Like, we're real people talking to each other. What the fuck are we doing? Like, how do we get through this?
Yeah, and it's also one of those things where this is horrible, but I think this is also kind of the way a lot of people, I don't know in the rest of the world, but I'm going to say where, again, Rikki and I always say this, where we can speak from with the United States. Unless something is going to affect you or someone that you genuinely care about, even caring about someone, that's kind of a stretch, which is sad, but unless it genuinely is about to affect your life, let's just say that, in some way, shape, or form, sometimes, a lot of people don't care. It's like, oh, a tornado happened in, like, Kentucky. I don't know anyone there. Therefore, I don't care, you know? But it's like, I care about Rikki. I care about, like, my friend Blake that also lives in Florida. I also have, like, some, like, personal loves for Florida because while it's the most touristy and, like, sporty thing I can say, like, I love Daytona NASCAR racing. I love, or, like, Universal and Orlando. And it's like, I don't want to see, like, shit like that get destroyed. And it's like, I also don't want to see, like, my friends who, for better or worse, no matter how they are, it's like, I don't want to see them get, like, an area in which they've lived almost their entire lives just get blooped off the face of the map because of a spiral storm. But there are some people that just don't care about that anymore because there's no sense of community. There's no sense of like, there's a big lack of love and positivity on the internet. And you have people who, I think this goes into, like, how cancel culture used to be, and I don't see much of it anymore because I've been very carefully curating, like, what I watch. But you have so many people that want to hop on a bandwagon narrative, and they hop on this thing of, oh, it's really, really popular to hate this person. It's getting clicks and instant views. Okay, let me hate on them. Instead of, just like any situation, you should sit back. You should let the situation cook. You should see what comes out. Educate yourself from a multitude of different perspectives. And once you think you've cooked long enough on the subject, and you can make a very well-educated argument, then I think you can do it. Now, I'm not saying you can do that all the time. There are some times where, like, a moment happens, or you're like a human fucking being, and emotions take over and you go off emotion. I am not going to kick anyone for that. I've done that before. So, God, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So it's like, I think now that we're getting to the point where it's like, we really do need to, like, look at like, I'm trying to be a person that looks at things more critically, Rikki, where it's like, okay, Jake, whatever you do, I know you might hate this person, or you might hate this subject, or whatever, right? Don't immediately jump on it, you know? Don't immediately try to ride the hate bandwagon. Don't immediately try to follow the popular narrative, because who knows if that's going to be right down the road, and who knows if the one popular algorithmic narrative that you're being fed is the correct thing, right?
Right. Wait for the facts to come out.
Yeah, so it's like, I think that's been something that I've been working on, and like you said, like, just taking a step back to, no pun intended, touch some fucking grass. Or, like, I can't tell you, like, the world's on fire, how about yours? But I still like going out my front door. And, like right now, I don't know what it is in Florida. My friend Blake told me, like, apparently it's actually, like, pretty nice in Florida. Like, the temperatures dropped.
It's been lovely. I've realized. I'll get into that in a minute, actually. But it has to do with mental health. I'll get on to that in a second. Finish your thing.
Yeah. So it's like, Rikki, fam, sweetie, honey, darling, it is, like, been 50 degrees here, and I've been living for it.
Yes.
Like, I'm in joggers. I'm in... Jake's doing gray sweatpants season, but also, like, comfy ass hoodie season. I love
the best season.
And it's been my seasonal depression is summer. So now that we're in cold season, oh bitch, my art's come back. I'm sassy and spicy as ever. I am living for it. But go into mental health because I'm curious.
So, I've realized with the temperatures staying consistently like lower, also the humidity's gone, and I always get this weird feeling, and I almost call it a sense of nostalgia, but also like melancholy, like, I'm like out of body, kind of sad, but not really, but comfortable because the wind is nice, and you just have the ability to think finally, and you kind of feel guilty because of it. And then it made me realize that feeling is the lack of humidity. I am so used to just being on edge and being, all the time, and I'm thinking it's Florida. I think I need to move somewhere where the humidity's gone, because I feel my best when the temperature's nicer outside. Even if I'm inside, it still affects my mood, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I've never thought of that before. Why I've never just been, yeah, duh, of course. But it really opened my eyes to, like, my future and what I should aspire for. Because I want this feeling. I don't want, negativity. Oh, it's so, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I feel like weather plays a part of mental health.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, one of my friends is actually like really down right now. He's in Canada, and he's really down right now because the days get shorter, obviously, when we go into the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, I'm not too mad about shorter days, only because like I don't do good in like my state's humidity. Like, I don't like opening the front door and then I'm just dripping sweat. And it's not because it's hot. It can be like 80 degrees outside, but you add humidity on top of it. That thick air that you have to like walk through.
Just sticks to you.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Like you can be outside for 5 minutes and like, this is gross, but it's like, being a guy, it's like
Swamp ass.
just swamp. Like, my shirt is like riding up in my armpits. Everything's uncomfortable, and I'm just like, I hate this. It's disgusting.
I'm sure girls can experience swamp ass too. I don't think it's generally just a guy thing. Yeah, you got like titty sweat. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just weather plays a big thing in it. I think just the time of year too. Like, let's be honest, in America, besides like, unless you like are planning a day to the pool or maybe like using some PTO to take like a summer vacation, there's no holidays, there's no extended weekends, there's nothing to like really strive or look forward to compared to like this time of year where it's like, oh, we got Halloween coming up, spooky season, and then we have Thanksgiving coming up, so there's that. And then you have all the winter holidays like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, and then like New Year's to top it all off. And even like the springtime, even though I fucking die in the springtime because of pollen, but I still love it.
Right.
So I'm like, if I gotta do this, let me be in my cold house. Let me be in a hoodie. Let me be in socks with my slides on, It's like, let me experience that. But I know that
I was gonna say, let you finally be cozy. Like, fuck.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like, I'm happy because I know moving is a thing that you're aspiring to do. As like, I truly think like your next sort of really big leap in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested because like there's so many states.
Get out. Yeah. Escape. Set the new chapter in your life,
If and when you guys can move and start somewhere new, oh bitch, that's gonna feel so refreshing.
I feel like it's gonna be a struggle at first, but as it goes on, the freedom that comes with it will be well worth it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it'll be a little scary because, like, new place, got to figure out, like, okay, like, you know, where's a Walmart or where's a Food Lion? Where can we get
Right.
groceries? Where do we get gas? Stuff like that. What, because I know it's us, what fast food places are there, But, um, that's all, like, legitimate stuff. So, yeah, but, I'm trying to think, is there anything else you want to tackle for this final episode before we basically say goodbye till February of 2025?
I mean, I don't know what the rest of the year is going to bring even. But just trudge through it. It's almost the end of the year. We can do this. And just, in general, focus on what makes you happy. And everyone else can kind of piss off if they aren't about that.
Snaps. Because it's just like, listen, we're all tired. You shouldn't have to deal with being ridiculed every single day of your life by people that you might think you love. And I think, as controversial as Brittany Broski is as a person through her ups and downs of her career, she said something, and I do think it was something that was genuinely smart. Let go of things that do not serve you positively. And you might have to, through bloody tooth and nail, to let them go, but you need to let them go. Now, so here's the thing. If they are a toxic person and you can't see them changing no matter how much you try, that's one of those moments where you just have to let them go. If it's something where it's like, maybe me and this person just need a break. Maybe we're just around each other too much. Maybe there's just too many of the idiosyncrasies that we see every single day that's pissing us off. Maybe we just need a break. Whatever it is, I say, for like this last like 2 months and 1 week, let go of anything that does not serve you in a positive manner and enjoy the rest of your fucking year. But I guess that's it. That is going to be the final episode for the Middleton Nytetime Broadcast Season 3. Now, I promise you all, we will be back. We do intend to not drop this as a project. But I do want to make something known as an announcement, because this could be jarring depending on how the next year starts and goes. But Rikki is still going to be a co-host for the podcast. Don't worry. I'm not
getting canned, guys.
I know. It's like, you're fired. It's like, you don't pay me. But no, it's like, so Rikki is going to still be my co-host, but my cousin Christian is also going to come on here and be a co-host as well. He's wanted to for a while, but obviously he just hasn't had the living arrangements to do it. But by the time we're starting MNB next year, if Rikki can't be around for whatever reason, whether it's just life or anything, Christian is willing to always step up to the bat to do it. And if Christian can't do it and Rikki really wants to be on for an episode or topic, or if, let's just say, like, Rikki, let's just say, like, they, like, find a topic and, you really want to go over it with me and you want to do it as an episode, then it's like, we'll plan for that. But I am working on the idea that I will still be the main host. And
well, it is the Middleton Nytetime Broadcast, so at its core, you're always going to be there, regardless.
Yeah. Unless, like, I do some weird random shit where I'm like, it's like, Rikki, we really need to get this episode out. Can you work with Christian?
Welcome to the next episode where I'm with Christian. Jake's gone.
It's like, I'm gone. It's like, it's just like, I like send you like a voice memo and you just play it. It's like, I just sound like the fucking chocolate grandma thing from SpongeBob. I'm that sick. But yes. So depending on how next year starts, you may see my cousin come on. And it might be a little weird because it'll be his first time doing the podcast episode. But I feel like the MNB's always been a tangents podcast, but it's always had a good lesson behind it. And I feel like that's going to be the good thing, because it's just going to feel like you're talking with like your best friend, essentially. So I think that is going to be it. That's all I can really say till we get to next year. But I hope that you all have a great rest of your 2024. I really hope it's good for all of us. I think a lot of us need it, and I gotta get turned, Rikki.
I'm all for it. We should plan a party.
Need to get stoned. But that is it. I thank you guys so much for sticking around for this 3rd season of the podcast, if you've watched all the episodes. And please, if you still want to catch Rikki and I being active and doing like live content, please go subscribe to Rikki. I will make sure to put an end card here at the end of the video, and all the links are down below. And if you want to catch me when I am doing stuff live, please go follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Middleton Misfits, same as here on YouTube. And if I'm not live, please feel free to go watch the like 4 other games that I have VODs on. So yeah, but I think that's it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell if you want, all that fun jazz. And we will see you guys next year in 2025. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.